Hello everyone, it's the Reverend Robert Schuler, and I just want to take this video and share with you my thoughts on corporate profits, the average household income, Bush's bailout, the Supreme Court, and the decision about f.e.c. and Citizens United, which made corporations people, balancing our budget, campaign finance reform, our infrastructure, and how I think corporations are not people. First thing I want to go over is this line right here, represented by these 4 stacks of quarters of 4 each, represents corporate profits since 1998 to 2008 have risen 400%. You can find this information from Senator Leno of California on YouTube. The average household income back in 1998 was $52,000. It's no longer $52,000. It has dropped by $2,800 roughly since 1998 to 2008. Our average income household in 2008 was roughly $49,000. Now, this brings us to the Bush's bailout plan. They came to us and said, hey, we need $700 billion to keep this economy from falling apart. So what did they do? Did they go to the corporate profits and get anything? I don't think so. What they did is they came to you and me and they said, hey, we need $700 billion to get us out of this mess. Okay? Well, we're still in this mess. And they say that they gave us the $700 million back, or $700 billion, excuse me, back. I have to say, where's the jobs? Where's the lending? Now, here's how we got into this supposedly financial situation. Basically, everybody that could afford to own a house, to buy a house, did. And so what had happened was they just basically decided we have to keep this economy going. So what the bank did is they came up with what they call creative financing. And they basically gave out loans to people who couldn't afford those loans. And they knew that they couldn't afford those loans. So what those bankers did was basically take those loans and took them to an offshore company and sold those securities to them, so that in case these guys defaulted, that they would still get their money from these guys overseas. And if we did pay, then they would still get their money. Well, I just don't see how we can bail something like that out. The other thing I want to talk about is the Supreme Court. In my opinion, you made a very bad decision on saying that corporations are people. When they did this, basically, corporations now can give unlimited amounts of funds to political campaigns which pass laws that benefit them. And people like me and you, we don't have the money or resources that corporations have to influence our elections. Yes, we can vote, but we need to get out there and vote, and we need to take back from the corporations what's going on. Also, I'd like to say that they were talking about trying to balance the budget, saying how our unions are breaking our country. Listen, it's because of unions that we have a 5-day work week. It's because of unions that we have a lunch break. It's because of unions that we have vacation. If we didn't, I'd imagine this corporate profit would be even a lot higher than 400%. So with that said, I'd like to move on to balancing the budget. Getting back to balancing the budget. Listen, it's not our firefighters, law enforcement, and teachers that are breaking this budget. It's the tax cuts that we keep giving to the rich, to the corporations who haven't paid their fair share in taxes. 2/3 of the corporations last year in the United States, and you can find this on 60 Minutes, 2/3 did not pay any taxes in the United States. You and I pay taxes. Why can't we get a break like the corporations? The other thing I'd like to talk about is our infrastructure. I saw a documentary the other day on TV called The Crumbling of America. They expect us to spend $2.2 trillion over the next 5 years just to bring our infrastructure up to an acceptable level. Now, the price of gas is going up. The price of food is going up. Our nation's infrastructure is crumbling. It requires $2.2 trillion over the next 5 years. and it looks like our income keeps declining, corporate profits keep rising, and if I'm not mistaken here, yes, we drive on these roads to get back and forth to work, but these corporations are also using these roads, railways, bridges, and delivery systems to deliver their goods and damaging these roads, and I think these corporations should pay their fair share. The other thing I'd like to say is corporations are not people. Corporations do not breathe air, they pollute it. Corporations do not drink water, they pollute it. Corporations do not bleed blood, which is something that a human being needs to live here on this earth. And corporations definitely are not people. So with that said, I've got some folks that I'd like you guys to get around to maybe meeting. Annie Leonard from The Story of Stuff. She talks about how we only have one planet and only an infinite amount of resources, but our corporations treat our planet like we have just an unlimited amount of resources. We don't. And what we do on this planet affects us all. So I recommend you go see thestoryofstuff.com, get Annie Leonard's book. I was able to see her here in San Rafael. She autographed my book. Annie, you rock. The other person, you should probably get this book here, Nullification, How to Resist Federal Tyranny in the 21st Century by Thomas E. Woods, Jr. Basically, we just need to get out there and vote and change the way things are and have fair representation. And just remember, corporations are not people. They do not bleed blood.